On today's show, we have an amazing guest. He is quickly becoming one of the hardest working men in the business today. He wrestles all around the country and is currently training the next generation of wrestlers. Our guest is the Prince of Queens, Brian Myers. Brian, thanks for joining us.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
So, how is life treating you these days?
Life is great, man. I love being a busy professional wrestler. That's all I ever wanted to be, and that's what I currently am. So I have no complaints.
Now, you're spending a lot of time on the independent wrestling circuit right now, and a lot of people would probably say that independent wrestling is far better than mainstream wrestling. So, what are your thoughts on independent wrestling right now?
I love it, man. I love going, town to town, and it's almost like a new challenge, or everywhere I go, because I wrestle different guys and different styles, and sometimes people I don't even know, at different places, and it's cool to see wrestling thriving and doing well, and not necessarily under that WWE umbrella.
Do you think that WWE's answer to the mainstream of independent wrestling is NXT?
I don't really think they had one has to do with the other, to be honest with you. I think NXT is a window into the WWE's future because Triple H is so hands-on in running it, whereas the WWE product you see on television is Vince, Hunter, and Steph, and Kevin Dunn, and all these other people, a lot of influences, whereas NXT is kind of Hunter's little baby. So, and I think he's a smart enough businessman to know that the independence is a place to find talent, and he has done such in using guys like Kevin Steen, Sami Zayn, and stuff like that.
How do most people in the locker room feel when huge independent stars like Sami Zayn, like Kevin Steen, they get signed to the company?
I can't speak for everyone else, but I always just thought it was great. I feel like the best wrestlers in the world should be in the WWE and be paid the most money and be seen by the most people and be the most successful. To me, that's just the way it should work. It doesn't always work that way, but I want to be surrounded by the best. You know what I mean? If I was building a roster, that's what I want. So the more the merrier in that sense.
So, as far as your time on the independents, who are you most looking forward to working with?
I've already wrestled people that I was so thrilled to just get in the ring with, like AJ Styles and the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, Chris Hero. I've had a lot of fun wrestling JP Gunn in recent weeks. I just got to wrestle Sanjay Dutt for the first time, so that's cool. I'm absolutely thrilled to be wrestling Johnny Gargano this Saturday. I've been kind of friendly with him and admire his work for quite some time now. So things like that are all cool to me.
Now, that's actually that's this Saturday, February 7th for FWE, No Limits at Resorts World Casino. As you mentioned, your opponent is Johnny Gargano. Is there anything that you have to kind of tweak with as far as your style goes with wrestling him, or do you think you can just stay your normal moveset and everything? There's nothing you have to change?
No, I think that would be foolish to think that I don't have to turn it up a notch or do something a little bit outside my comfort zone, because especially with Gargano, he's a very unique wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think it's going to be a clash of both our styles.
Now, aside from your current wrestling bookings, you also run Create a Pro Wrestling School. How did you feel your school stands up to the other schools in the Northeast?
Well, to me, in my area, I just don't see why you wouldn't come to me. I have 8.5 years of WWE education. Current,
Yeah.
No offense to guys like Johnny Rods and whatnot. I mean, he groomed an incredible crop of talent. But that was, 30 years ago. The guy's information is dated. The business has changed. I'm fresh off a hands-on WWE experience, and I feel like I have a lot to offer, a lot more than anyone else on the East Coast, in my opinion. And if you are taking the pro wrestling business seriously and you want to really make a go at it, I think you would be very foolish to even entertain the idea of going somewhere else. And that's just my honest opinion. That's not me just putting myself over. It is what it is.
How's the turnout been so far since opening last year?
It's great. We have a lot of fun. I mean, the core guys, the guys that have stuck with it, The guys that are trying to make something of themselves are great. Everyone, there's a real sense of like camaraderie that's built over the past year, which I'm real proud of. Kind of like the coach and his team, and that part's my favorite. But then again, the flip side, we've had so many guys come in and go out the door because they just their expectations are not realistic as to what professional wrestling is.
Mm-hmm.
People just are just so delusional sometimes about how real it is, or how fake it is, and how they could think that there's no athleticism involved. It's actually kind of mind blowing. But those people get shell shocked and they're quickly weeded out. So it's to be expected.
What is the one thing you tell your students that you wish someone had told you prior to getting into wrestling?
That's a good question. Wrestling is an art form, so there's so many things to learn about it. They almost basically like, I'm still learning now myself. You just never stop learning because it's just so unique, and it really is all to itself the way it is. There's nothing else even comparable to it.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest advice for anyone is just to stick with it, because nobody picked up this business, within a couple of weeks and was good to go. Even guys like super freaks like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar were carefully groomed in the WWE system for, years at a time before they were seen. So,
mm-hmm.
and those are two of the best athletes that the world's ever seen,
Yeah.
So I would just say, being consistent and to stick with it and be a student of the game. I can't stand when people don't know about current wrestling or don't know about their past wrestling. You got to be a student of the game.
Now, that kind of brings me to something else that I wanted to ask you about. Do you think that people knowing that you were a big fan hurt you, or like hurt your standing in the WWE?
I'd like to think it wouldn't. If it did, that's unfortunate. But I wasn't going to compromise who I am or how I felt.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was chasing guys down for autographs backstage. But it's like I grew up watching these guys, I know the history of the business and I respect it, and I'm always going to be a fan of wrestling. If I didn't feel the way that I feel about this business like I did when I was 5 years old, then I'm going to stop doing this.
Yeah.
I always tell myself not to lose that kind of boyhood wonder that I had that got me involved in this in the first place and made me fall in love with it when I was 5 years old. So, to me, the whole point of being involved in it is to have fun and do something that you love. So, if it's not like that, if other people are miserable doing it, that's fine. But I refuse to change who I am just for their perspective of me. I think that's ridiculous.
You have had a great career and have done things other wrestlers will only dream of. With that being said, what are some of the things that you still want to accomplish in your wrestling career?
A laundry list of things. I'm never satisfied. I always, if I knock something off my bucket list, I just put another one up there and I just keep going for it. There's small, little, immediate goals. Like I've never wrestled in Japan. That's on my mind right now. And then there's big goals of someday being back with WWE and being the WWE champion, of course,
Mm-hmm.
which I think should be everyone's goal. So, yeah, I mean, I have tons of little goals and aspirations that I'm digging for each and every day.
Okay. Now, are you open to joining any other major promotion to wrestle full time?
Yeah, I'd entertain offers for sure. Right now, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, and I'm busy, and I'm still able to make a living, and just, I'm my own boss for the first time in 8.5 years, which is like really, really something nice. I almost forgot what it was like, But obviously, I'd never say never to any wrestling company. And like I've said many times already, I just love wrestling. So
Yeah.
to be a part of it is all I really want to do.
You have done a few shoot interviews since being released. Does that help get some stuff off your chest?
Sometimes. I just think, honestly, with the shoot, since I am such a fan of wrestling, I've watched almost, I'd say like 70% of the ones even out there, just because I'm a sponge and I want to know the history of business, or I want to see this guy's opinion on this and that. So when I do them, I kind of, and I also have a really good memory. So I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. And I know what a boring shoot interview is and a not good one, so I always go out of my way to make sure I'm entertaining. So that's why I think I've been asked to do so many of those. The combination of having a good memory and still being entertaining, you know.
As far as being a huge wrestling fan goes, on your Instagram account, I see a lot of your posts of figures and things that you've had. What is your favorite piece of Curt Hawkins merchandise that came out during your time in the WWE?
Of my own personal stuff,
Yeah.
my favorite item would be a Curt Hawkins figure in the blue trunks that I won the tag team titles, and it was supposed to come out with Zach. I believe it was going to be a Walmart exclusive and come with like the giant foam belt of our belt.
Okay.
And then we're each in there. And then that line or whatever, that series got canceled. But Jax gave me a few of the samples of it, so I have like one or two of it. So
that's awesome.
that's me. And then it's obviously special because it's basically what I exactly looked like when I won the tag team title.
During your run in WWE, you wrestled Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, were thrust into the main event picture. What were some of the moments looking back that you can't believe you got to be a part of?
I mean, the cool with everything we did with Edge is amazing because the nostalgia and stuff put aside, it was just such an unbelievable learning experience. And Zach and I truly were Edge heads, you know, we still are. He's just somebody we looked up to and respected so much. So that was just an unbelievable learning experience that you can never, you know, put a price on. I guess nostalgia-wise, like the biggest thing that's pretty unbelievable that we did was wrestle Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels in a steel cage in Chicago. You know, that's something that, you know, if 7-year-old me knew that 24-year-old me was doing, he'd probably lose his goddamn mind, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Now you're going to also be at the New England Fan Fest June 27th of this year. It's going to be held at Rhode Island Convention Center in Providence. What do events like this mean to you?
Conventions are my favorite, to be honest with you. Well, not my favorite, but something I really enjoy. Well, one, I'm not bumping or killing myself physically. You know, it's a very relaxed day. But then again, that's when I get the most one-on-one time with the fans, and for the most part, people are very nice and very complimentary, and it's just great to interact with them. And I'm very grateful to have the fans that I do.
Lightning round.
Worst travel partner?
Hornswoggle, because he just falls asleep.
Okay.
Actually, which Johnny Silver from the Beaver Boys is he does the exact same thing, so they're tied for worst.
Okay. Best thing about Queens?
The pizza.
One person who belongs in the Hall of Fame that isn't there yet?
If Flair got to go in as Flair and the Four Horsemen, then I feel like Shawn can go in as Shawn and the Rockers.
Will we ever see a Major Brothers reunion?
I mean, obviously, right now, contractually, it can't happen, but as soon as it could, I'm sure it would.
If you weren't wrestling, you'd be doing what?
Impossible question to answer, because I've honestly never wanted to do or be a part of anything else instead of five. So
that's great.
It truly makes up everything I am, and I have no idea. I'd be a completely different person.
Okay.
The greatest thing your fame has gotten you?
I'm gonna have a ton of free shit. I mean, you know.
Okay.
Nothing crazy goes out. Nothing crazy goes out. You know, right now I'm doing like Mets tickets.
The celebrity that people say you most look like?
I get Macklemore like almost on a daily basis.
Now, where can fans keep up with you and learn more about your school?
Well, I'm active on Twitter at the Curt Hawkins. Promoters can find my booking email in my Twitter profile. That's an easy find. My school is Creative Pro Wrestling Academy. It's got a website at creativeprowrestlingacademy.com. Our email is located there, and pretty much any information that you could want to know about it. And I always just tell people if they're hesitant, just come down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 to 9, and just watch a practice. See what we do and see if it's something that you'd like to be a part of.
Awesome. Now, you also have a Pro Wrestling Tees site as well?
Oh, yeah, my Pro Wrestling Tees store is prowrestlingtees.com/Brian Myers.
All right. Well, you can come out and see him this Saturday, FWE Resorts World Casino. I know you've got a lot of other things going on, so just keep up with him on Twitter. We'd love to thank Brian Myers for joining us today, and hope you can come back again soon.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Joining us today on another wrestling podcast is a highly skilled, multi-time champion. He's wrestled around the world and has a unique perspective on life. He is the intrepid traveler, Paul London. Paul, thanks for joining us today.
Howdy, yeah, howdy. I wish you could translate all that to promoters out there to hire me.
I'll try.
I'm joking. That's a very nice introduction. Thank you.
No problem. What have you been doing these days?
Traveling intrepidly,
Okay.
you know, going to foreign worlds and saving them from evil wizards and battling minotaurs and, rescuing and not rescuing a few damsels in distress. And, just the normal everyday shindig, So, yeah, life's a roller coaster.
Yeah, I have to say I'm pretty jealous about all of that. Now, February 7th,
You're jealous of the Minotaur, fighting the Minotaurs part, right? That's specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, I don't. I mean, we don't even have them. I'm on the East Coast, and we just don't have them here. So.
Oh, you guys are missing out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I've bucket list thing. I want to definitely try to hunt one down. So.
Yeah, well, I have a few of their eggs, and so I'll bring them maybe this weekend, and I'll plant them secretly somewhere throughout the Tri-Boroughs area.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, it'll be like the new alligators in the sewer,
Yes.
It'll be like Minotaur and the Burrows.
I think you just created like a band name and a TV show all at once.
I hope I did, I hope I can be a part of it. I'm a terrible singer, but a hell of a frontman.
So you mentioned it, February 7th, you'll be defending the Tri-Borough Championship against none other than Matt Seidel. This is going to be obviously an amazing match for FWE at the Resorts World Casino in Jamaica, New York. With that being said, and I'm talking to you, so I hope you say you, but who has the better aerial assault?
Wow. Well, it's a trick question, actually, if you think about it, because here's the thing. I think, obviously I'm biased, but I'm realistic at the same time. I think it's pretty hard to find a better shooting star than my own. Just in the sense of my size and my accuracy and the impact more than anything that I land when I hit it, even when I miss it, thing freaking hurts, I've been doing that finisher for almost well over 12, 13 years, and I've really crafted it. I think I take a lot of pride in not having it have to be so specific, as in, the person has to be this way, or I can't do it, or it has to be this close, or I can't do it. I mean, it's all with a gusto.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I've done it from the top to the floor, and, split the C's at whatever the Royal Rumble was back in the day when I did it on like 20 cruiserweights, and none of them caught me. Or none of them were there. I guess they smart for them, right? They moved out of the way.
Yeah.
Good defense. And so when it comes to the shooting star press, I will raise my hand. When it comes to other aerial antics, well then, I'm a realist, and I understand that, times carry on, and my body carries on, and my work situation, in the sense that what I do and the way that I work changes and improves, in my opinion. And so maybe my aerial stuff isn't as dynamic or as innovative as it might have been back, when I was really pushing my own envelope 10 years ago. Now I just push my own envelope in a different way. I put a lot more saliva on it to make sure that it stays shut and nobody opens it illegally.
Yes.
So, that's kind of my
Okay.
answer.
No,
You trick question. You can't trick me.
You
You
got
know, we're both incredible aerialists.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there's a reason this match was booked.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that the real winner, it's cliche, but the winner is going to be the fans that get to watch this somewhat of a dream match. And, I'll be
This is a wet
honest.
dream.
It is a wet dream match, yes. I think
A
that's
wet dream match. That's right. This is going to create so many boners. It's not even funny.
the
It's going to create
sundials.
so many valleys and river streams. It's not even funny. I mean, this match is, you know, it's the reason, you know, certain types of pornography are made acceptable.
Yeah, everybody bring the rubber sheets if you're coming to FWE.
Yeah, it's practically a public customs match.
Yes. You obviously have been wrestling now for quite some time, and everybody has one of those how I got started with wrestling. What exactly drove you into the world of professional wrestling?
I was stupid. You know, I didn't know any better. It was the only thing that I really cared about and obsessed over enough to pursue it. And so, you know, everything and every arrow pointed to don't do it and no. And to me, it was like every red light I saw turned to green, and every arrow that pointed, you know, to go the opposite direction, I spin it and make it work in my favor. And I was just bullheaded, you know. I was just relentless. And I think that can attribute as to why I live a pretty solitary life. I mean, I spend probably 90 to 90%, you know, probably about at least 90% of my time alone. And it's not something it's just the way that my life's crafted itself. But I think a lot of that I can attribute back to just coming up as a kid, trying to work at the things that I felt were going to improve my chances to make this dream a reality. And here I am 15 years later, and you know, it's a mighty big breath I've taken, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy with, you know, most everything that's happened. You know, it's just, you know, surreal is another cliche word, so I used it, but I wasn't using it to use it. You know what I mean? I was just bringing it up as a cliche.
Yes.
But it's a lot of things. You can't really define it with one word. I mean, it's emotional, I'll tell you that.
Do you kind of wish that you had tried your hand at something else, or are you happy still with
I think I know what you're going to say, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, here's the thing is, you know, it's never too late to try my hand at anything else, and I think that's why, you know, I'm real fortunate for the way things have turned in a way. I mean, every deep decline is going to, at some point, have its elevated highs, and you know, it's really just kind of about having faith in myself, which, you know, is a challenge as well sometimes, because you know, you maybe things don't always work out the way that you want, and you know, you find yourself questioning yourself or you know, the things around you, and I mean, that's just the many challenges of life, you know. But that's really no different than what anyone else might deal with. It's just that my business is my health, and my business is my, you know, my well-being, and all these things are just from a physical standpoint. So then when you put in all the mental aspects of it, as far as from a performance standpoint, I mean, that's a whole other exhaustive part of the process, or at least it can be. You know, I take it that seriously in the sense that, you know, I'm a professional wrestler. I'm not a wannabe wrestler.
Yes.
I'm not a fan wrestler. I'm not a, you know, private wrestler. I'm not a pretend wrestler. I'm a professional wrestler, and I've been a professional wrestler for over a decade, nearing 16 years, I would think. My math is bad, but either way, professional. That's really all about preparation, and so I take pride in that. But it's exhaustive, especially for this long. It's tiring. The travel is tiring. So yeah. But the thought of shifting all that speed to a different speed, whether it's a faster speed or a slower speed when it comes to your lifestyle, depending on, like you said, try my hand at something else. It's difficult. It's very difficult. It's not something where I can just show up at Barnes and Nobles and start working there.
Yeah.
It's nothing against that job, but very much like I think it was Will Forte. He played a character on Saturday Night Live. Was like he was an old porn guy.
Yep.
And he tried to get all these other jobs, and he kept messing up because porn was like all that he knew,
Yeah.
And he's like, it's all I know. It's all I know. Well, it's not that it's all that I know, but I live a very fantastic, with a very fantastic mind.
Yep.
And that's part of what led me to wrestling. In fact, that I allow my mind to take off into fantasies at times, in the sense that, call it daydreaming, whatever you want to call it. But I'm a firm believer in visualizing dreams constantly, because I think that's a major component in making them a reality. And with that, so my mind's constantly, racing, and it's always thinking or visualizing or directing or creating or writing or something, even when I'm supposed to be doing something that might seem mundane, it's going to be difficult to keep my attention if it's off and going. That's probably why I'm an actor at heart.
Yeah.
I was an actor before I was a wrestler, and so that acting's something that will forever be in my heart, and if that's ideally something I can do, then wonderful. But I just try to make the best of each moment. There's another cliche for you.
Well, hey, that's they're there for a reason, I guess. But you mentioned it. You're a veteran as far as your time and accomplishments go in the business. Do you see yourself wanting to kind of step away from the ring, or do you still have things that you want to accomplish before you finish?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's really. There's times when you think, oh, I never want this to end, and then there's times when you think, why am I still doing this? So it's a tough one it's just not really something I can answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, now you've wrestled literally all the major stars in the business of past and present. What are your thoughts on some of the newer guys like Steen and Devitt and Generico getting called up to the WWE?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I wish I'd wrestled more stars in the past than you might think. I mean, I really don't. There's so many that I really would have loved to get in the ring with, but I didn't get the chance. But as far as the current crop, yeah, along with Kenta and a lot of these guys, I mean, I think it's really, it's really encouraging for anything to the current independent scene, so that they can think, oh, there's, that door's kicking open a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. Then hopefully there won't really even be a door there at some point. Hopefully it'll be switched to a garage door or a barn door or a hangar or something where it's much wider, and the viewing and possibility of getting in there will be easier for guys to encourage themselves to do, because it is possible. It's extremely possible. And for people to think, oh, well, they'll never pick me, and, I'm too brown, or I'm too red, or I'm too green, or I'm too yellow, or I'm, I don't know. You can make all the excuses you want for yourself, but until you absolutely try, here we go with this damn cliche. You just don't know. You just don't know. Why not you?
Yeah.
Why not you? I want to slap these people. Like, why not you? It's just like, wake up. Are you going to take this thing or not?
Yeah.
And, man, I am the absolute worst when it comes to patience. Trust me, but it has to find its way in there somewhere, because just obviously they're not going to call you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wish they would, but have faith in the work you're putting in. And so, I think if anything, hopefully that's what translates to through these signings and through these guys getting, called up, I should say, is that it can really help be another shot in the arm to the guys trying to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A good friend of mine at NXT is Buddy Murphy. He's from Australia. And, that's a great story in itself, because now that gives a whole continent hope.
Yeah.
Now,
it's
a powerful team.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But another person you've had a lot of history with is Daniel Bryan. Have you been surprised by the amount of success that he's had in the business today?
Am I surprised?
Yes.
No, he's absolutely fantastic. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest with you. I'm just happy that it's happening to him now. Because Brian's such a sweet guy, in my opinion. I thought he's just always very genuine, and who knows, maybe he's a great actor. but I'm just happy for him. So, man, I'm real happy that he looks like shit. He looks like a homeless guy, and that he doesn't have to preen and look manicured. You know what I mean? I didn't mean look like shit in the sense that he looks literally, you know what I mean? But just in the sense that, he doesn't look corporate. You know what I mean? And they can't get any more corporate than that place. And so, kudos to him for finding a way to make that work.
I do have a confession. I watch the Hybrid Dolphin promo probably once a month with you two.
Oh, what's wrong with you? I'm kidding.
It is probably one of the best things I've ever seen. For anybody who hasn't seen it, you should check it out. Now,
yeah,
I know that
that never was. You know what I mean?
No,
what a wonderful thing. It's just fate, man. we're probably the best promo tag team ever.
Oh, he couldn't keep it together in that promo, and it's just like the funniest thing because you're so serious, and he's just like cracking up over there. So it's really
sure. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. So I'm real happy for his success.
Now, you've obviously devoted a lot of your life to pro wrestling. Other than wrestling, what gets Paul London going? What are some of your other passions?
Life, man. Life is life's as big a roller coaster as you can find, and when you can enjoy it for the ride that it is, then it really it can really surprise you, and it can really open your eyes to some things. It's pretty powerful, and it's a hell of a challenge. It's a never-ending challenge, and so you're constantly having to step up to the plate and do something, or at least that's the way that I've always kind of lived my life. I love challenges, and I love to test myself, and I think there's a lot of excitement in that, and so how do I spend my time, or how do I, there's no formula. I guess there's no real system. I just I do what I feel like doing, and it varies so much. I drive a lot, though. I will say that I drive a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not a delivery driver. I should be probably, but I drive. I'm in my car a lot.
Yeah.
But I prefer to be outdoors. I prefer to be around animals. Not the human kind, but just in general. And there's a lot of writing involved. I'm a very creative person. At least I like to think so sometimes, in the sense that I like to create a lot of crap. And I value my creative crap, and I house it and nurture it, and I take my teat out, and I let it have a suckle or two from my nourishing colostrum.
Yes.
And so it's all about feeding oneself. If you have a kernel, it's much more exciting to see it develop and then pop as opposed to just having it ready to eat, you know. So I'm always on doing something, creating something. I guess it's just the nature of how I live.
No, it's
None of it good,
well.
but I'm working on stuff. You know, I'm working.
Well, you're doing it all your way, which is exciting to hear because I think a lot of people get into. We spoke with Nigel McGuinness not too long ago. He was trying to create like a docu-series, a mini-series on wrestling, and he was talking about
Sure.
some of the same things that you were talking about. You know, after wrestling, he went to Trader Joe's to try to find a job, and it just like he couldn't do it. He couldn't figure it out. So I think that
Right.
that's the most important thing is that you get to keep being you, which is a pretty cool thing at the end of the day.
Well, it's not too expensive. Well, I have this wonderful acting coach, kind of more of a friend, really, in LA when I'm out there, and he uses the phrase "low budget equals high creativity," and so I use that not just in my acting or performance work, but throughout most everything I try and do. So, it's fun. What I can't do is sit all day.
Yes.
I can't do that. I obviously I can't if I'm being paid, but it would, I got to be doing something, or I just idle hands are. That's not even.
It's a terrible movie with Devon Sawa.
Oh, is it ever? Who else is in that?
Oh,
there's a girl.
Yeah,
Shannon Elizabeth.
She. Now I'm very curious.
There's a lead in there. There's a female lead in that, but I can't remember who it is. I think Seth Green's in it, right?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely. I'm currently looking it up.
Maybe he's the girl I was thinking about. I don't know. Devon Sawa. I haven't heard that name in a while. That's awesome, man. He's in some movie, I think, with Nick Stahl, another name you probably haven't heard in a while. I think it was like Carlita Avenue or something like that. It was like some weird, like suspense thriller, straight to video thing.
I just figured it out. It was Jessica Alba was actually in that movie.
Well, that's Jessica Alba. I knew it was Dark Angel.
And Vivica A. Fox is in it too. Wow, that's
really.
Wow. Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
Mr. Vivica Fox in it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, because he is what a terrible Laker.
Yeah.
Rick Fox. No, I'm not a Rick Fox. Anyways,
yeah.
I'm man. Anybody go see this movie?
Yeah. I can't even believe. I think I watched it on VHS. If that tells you anything, so.
It's an awesome movie. Outpost.
I can't say that I've seen it. So.
Outpost. I think it's called Outpost. Yeah, Outpost. Ray Stevenson versus Nazi zombies. Dude, this movie kicks ass.
It sounds good. That's for sure. Now you mentioned that you do some acting. Is there anything that we would be able to see soon that you're in, or are you just kind of constantly doing acting things?
Well, that's a constant thing. I mean, that just constantly it's an ever evolving process. I mean, that's just when I'm interacting with people every day. I mean, there's plenty of acting exercises being done right then and there. Whether it's even just from a listening standpoint.
Yes.
That's constantly. When I wake up every day, I'm already in the acting gym. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, it's like I wake up, I could flip over and start doing 50, 100 push-ups. Sure. I'm getting the beginning grumblings of what will then be my physical workout, which is, kind of a professional requirement for my performance jobs. But as far as the acting gym, the gymnasium to really flex your acting muscles, that's open the second your eyes open, in my opinion. Whether it's studying the room that you're in, or the prison cell that you're in, or the sheet that's over your head. Observation. I'm constantly observing. I mean, it just never stops. And so you're flexing that muscle, you're flexing your memory muscle. Maybe I'm working on something where I might have to think of the intent behind it. Maybe I'm considering someone's background. Maybe I'm practicing being more empathetic by creating, constantly. Now, as far as like a project in particular, this and that, I can't really say, but there is a silly, goofy sizzle reel on YouTube called Hero of the Prophecy, which can give you an idea of when I'm acting terribly, but when it's fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty much when I'm in there, it's like nothing but outtakes, because I thought it was something else, and yeah. Anyways, it's fun. Hero of the Prophecy.
Okay.
And there'll be more of that soon. But yeah.
Now, obviously you're a busy guy, and we want to let you get doing that.
I am going to go soon, but I'm really not that busy.
But where obviously you're doing wrestling things, you're doing some acting things. Where is the best place for fans to keep up with you? I know in the social media world that you've probably got Twitter and Instagram and all those things.
I do. I don't have any Facebook.
Okay.
So if you've been friending me or sending me messages, actually it's really funny. Alex Wright from WCW fame, Dallas Wonder Kid.
Yes.
He sent me a message via Twitter and said, "Hey, can you check your Facebook pages? Been trying to get a hold of you." And I had to send him a direct message, like, I can't, hey, listen, buddy, it's not me. Sorry, it wasn't, it wasn't me. Damn imposters, So I'm on Twitter at London Fu, LONDONFU, but more for like the Kung Fu sense as opposed to the Cena sense.
Yes.
At London Fu. I recently broke 10,000 followers. Whoopity-doo. I look at some other people that I've never heard of, and they have like 400,000. But it's pretty much the only place I put out anything on my own for the time being. There might be a Facebook page being developed down the road, but that's not really at the top of my priority list.
So what you're telling me is the other day, whenever Paul London on Facebook told me that he was going to meet me, that wasn't you.
No, that was my Bizarro.
That's ridiculous.
Right. There's a word for it. What's it called? Dang it! I just saw it. Oh, I can't remember.
Are we talking about like Avatar?
No, not Avatar. It's like a double, there's like a shemp, you know what I mean? You can use like a shemp.
Yeah.
But there was another word I just recently... I like shemp better, personally.
Yeah.
Because that's the Bruce Campbell days.
Yes.
That was my shemp, I guess. That's the only word I can think of at the moment.
Well, that's a good enough word for me. We definitely appreciate your time. We can't wait to see you at FWE this Saturday. Just good luck. That's the only thing I can say.
Thanks. I'm gonna need it. He's amazing. Heaven born, or I'm sorry, Jesus, can't believe I just said that. What a terrible. Matt Seidel. He's reborn though. That's what I've understood.
He's reborn as Evan.
He's reborn
as Matt.
That's it.
See, I just said it too.
That's it. Yeah. Well, last time I saw Evan, every time I see Evan, he's got this great smile on his face. So I'm gonna take it off. No, may the happiest soul win.
Yeah. That sounds like a good thing for me. Maybe Fangora on a pole match is what we should be going for.
Yeah, and I'll have plenty of Minotaur eggs with me.
Please bring those.
we'll see. Maybe I'll present one to him as a friendship token.
That sounds great. Well, thank you again for joining us, and come back anytime.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I will see you guys around the Cosmic Hemisphere.